Here's the new pad. They typically measure, depending on vehicle, anywhere from 12 to 14, 30 seconds usually. This one is about 15, a little on the high side. These ones aren't very bad. The reason we're replacing the brakes on this is due to our rotor pulsation. And even though the pad linings are thick, and they're around 13, 30 seconds, it's typically a better idea to mate a new set of brake pads with the new rotors that you're replacing. The minimum spec that you would like to get your pads replaced is usually 2 to 3 30 seconds. You can see that gives you a lot of variance, but at that time, if your brake pad's equipped with a warning indicator or a squealer, it's typically going to start hitting on the rotor, screeching against the rotor at that time, every time you apply the brakes. And also at that time, that kind of poses a safety concern. Your friction material is nearly gone, so brake performance is going to be greatly reduced. Before you install your hardware and anti-rattle shims, it's also very important to make sure that all the rust and road debris is cleared out of the caliper bracket. That way, when you put your hardware in there and you put the pad in there, everything seats firmly and correctly the way it's supposed to.
It's also extremely important to make sure all the mating surfaces, anywhere a brake pad is going to move and has any type of movement, to lubricate that. So that includes all your shims and hardware, as well as your caliper slides. It's very important to make sure those are greased and moving freely. If they're not, and the caliper can't move the way it's intended when attached to the caliper bracket, it can cause uneven pad wear, as well as your brake pads prematurely wearing down.
And it's also very important to lubricate any of the backing plates or the shims on the pad. That way all movement on all contact points, everything's moving as freely as it can be. There's a possibility if you don't do this, when the caliper pistons are applied, they can also make noise. This hub surface isn't bad since it's a 2018 with only 48,000 miles on it. But any time where there's a lot of corrosion built up on your hub flange, it's always best to grind that off to get it as smooth as you can prior to installing your rotor, because anytime there's a buildup of rust or corrosion, it actually pushes the rotor out a little bit so it doesn't seat firmly 100%. And over time, as that rust builds up and out in between the hub and the rotor, that can actually cause an offset to where it can cause rotor warpage or just start wearing unevenly. Whenever the rotors are shipped from the manufacturer, they typically have a thin film of packaging shipping oil on them. So you want to make sure that you spray all of that off before you reinstall your pads. Because if you don't, there's a possibility that all that buildup can burn into the pad linings and create a brake situation where it causes squealing or they don't stop the way they're supposed to. It's not uncommon for when these shims start to rust or debris builds up, that every time you apply the brakes, if this isn't completely, contact surface isn't mating the way it's supposed to, it can also create squeaking or noise. That's why I say it's always important to try to remember to grease every contact point that comes into play whenever you apply the brakes.